I'm now joined by Christine Cunniffe, Executive Principal at LVS Ascot. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, Christine. Great to have you on. Let's just begin with the fact that this is the biggest overhaul to the school curriculum for over a decade. This will impact and shape the lives of many, many young people. Do you think what the government is proposing is a positive step forward for people's education?
100%, and this should have happened quite a while ago. So it's actually quite welcome news for us. And I think I work in an independent school, so much of what we are seeing today is already going on in much of our sector. But it's really good that all children in the country will be part of this, because we've got to learn about AI. It's got to be part of our everyday lives. The children are already ahead of us anyway. So let's hope that this is a curriculum for the future.
Children are definitely ahead of us, Christine. I feel that very much too. But on paper, this overhaul looks good as we see AI and data science added to the subject list. But how easy is it to deliver this in schools? And do you have the teachers? Because right now there is a shortage of teaching staff in the UK.
Yeah, 100%. Everything looks good on paper, doesn't it? But delivering it is another thing, because we are so short of teachers in this country. The new government have pledged 6,500 new teachers, but we're not seeing those come through because there are other issues that we need to explore to find out why teachers aren't coming. And then the other thing is you get traditional academics, traditional teachers, or possibly a certain age, that don't want to embrace this new technology, like we saw with digital online work during COVID.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because there's different factors that play into this. But these changes will impact children going through one of the biggest generational shifts to their employment we have ever seen when it comes to AI. Do you think the government is doing enough to embrace the rapidly changing landscape? You said you're an independent school and you're already doing a lot of this. But do you think the government says they want to do this properly? It will be implemented by 2027, which to me seems a little bit far away. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
The thing is, it can never be too soon, but what we saw during COVID was that we had thousands of children who did not have the technology to access work during COVID. Now, AI and the study of AI is brilliant if you've got the technology, but we have many children who don't have access to that technology. So that's the infrastructure's got to be there to be able to do it. We'd all like it to happen tomorrow, but I can't see it happen by 2027, not a rollout across the country. We've got to be careful it doesn't create more social divide as well, because if we look at AI and some of the problems, it's about bias, because it's only the people that are using it that are feeding the AI. It's not representative of the whole child or adult population in the world.
Yeah, very interesting. And what I like about some of these proposals that were made were financial lessons, because I wish I had them at school, because honestly, it's very difficult to know when you get out into the world and you get a mortgage and you get a bank account. Do you think that the financial lessons that will happen are good? Do you agree with them? Is this the way to sort of train children early on?
Many schools are doing it already, but it has to be everybody. I mean, I remember in the 1980s, I was brought up in a state school myself, being taught how to write a cheque. Now, it's got to be the same now. The children need to know about money. It's such a complex world and it affects them. And they've got to understand what the world of finance looks like, how it will impact them, because growing up is very difficult these days, and how you use your money, how you invest for the future. I mean, even down to pensions. Young people need to know it might seem a long way off, but a little bit every day when you start working will soon add up for when you're my age.
Yeah, no, I definitely wish I had been taught that. But it's really interesting, because what is going to go from schools that we see now that have been traditional core subjects in order to introduce this new way of learning when it comes to AI, data sciences and finances? Are we going to lose some of the core that we've always been used to in schools?
Well, AI shouldn't be taught in a silo. It's got to be part of our everyday life. It's a hygiene factor now. It's got to be taught from a very early age that we walk alongside AI. We are the humans with our critical thinking, our communication, our creativity, our collaboration, the human skills that AI doesn't have. Well, at least not yet anyway. It's because we need to walk alongside this, and children need to have that from an early age. It cannot be taught as a standalone. It affects every subject, every part of life. Look how rapidly it's working. Look, when we sleep is evolving. It's something that we have to embrace straight away. Now, with financial literacy, there's no reason why you can't do that and make subjects like maths, for example, real life application. So when we talk about algebra, how does that relate to if you went into a finance degree, or if you wanted to be an architect, how do you use that algebra? Real finance can come into everyday life. It's got to be common language and delivered through the curriculum as a whole, as well as separately.
And it's interesting because I did algebra at school and now I have a calculator on my phone, so my life is so much easier. But the government wants to bring in another exam, and people are questioning, is this a right idea? Should more exams be available to assess where children are in the school year? Or do you think this will just create more work? Or do we need to find out a little bit earlier how children are in the mainstream schooling system?
I mean, having a qualification for it is, sorry, I just don't agree with that at all. I think it's nonsense. It's one of those things we're going to be working with, and it should be assessed through all year groups at different times. We're not working with it as a subject. It's part of our lives. So it's got to be ongoing and continuous.
And also, just looking to the future, because I don't have children, but I have a nephew and he's 14 years old and he, is wondering what to do with his life. And so much is changing when it comes to careers that, we can't really give much help to. But when children are looking to the future now, what are you suggesting that they do? What new jobs are opening up? Are apprenticeships better than university? Has that whole landscape changed for the future?
100%. It's changing for all of us, in our adults as well. So, I've got 3 grown-up children in their 20s, and I'm saying you need to look at how you can diversify your careers moving forward. And I think with young people, I've just spoken about the 4 C's. It's about developing those human skills, being problem solvers for the future, being able to see potential problems in the future, bring them into the present so we don't have barriers for the future, and be multi-skilled, because the landscape out there is changing. Well, I'd say yearly. No, it's not. It's changing monthly. And we don't know what it looks like, but we know what us humans are capable of doing and how we can do that in the future.
Yeah, it's a very difficult landscape to navigate. Christine Cunniffe, it's been brilliant to speak to you. Thank you so much.